Snort is a free IDS or intrusion detection system. It's software that you can run, for instance, on the Linux or the Windows platform, and you can configure rules or use some of the default rules to detect any suspicious activity. So the first thing we're going to do as per step 1 is start the Kali Linux virtual machine and log into it. I've already done that and started the SSH daemon and connected remotely with PuTTY. So you don't have to do it that way, that's what I'm doing. So in step 2, the first thing I have to do is make sure that Snort is installed or up to date, and I can do that by typing sudo apt get, that's my package manager here in Kali Linux, and I'm going to tell it to install Snort. And it looks like it's okay, it's already the newest version is what it's showing. Great, no problem. Otherwise, if I get prompted to continue, I would just press the letter Y for yes and press enter and accept any other settings. So Snort is there and it's up to date is the point. Now in step 3, let's take a look at what we've got here. I want to view the main config file for Snort, and I can do that with sudo nano text editor, and I want to point to or open up /etc/snort/snort.conf, the Snort config file. Now anything that starts with a hashtag or a pound symbol, a number sign here, means that we've got a comment. So the idea is that this is where we can tweak Snort, like specifying values for variables. For instance, if we go further down, there's a variable called home_net, and currently it's set to any, but we could specify our subnet for our home network, same for an external network, DNS servers, SMTP mail servers. So I'm going to leave all of these to be their default value, but we could customize the Snort config file if we so felt the need. So I'm just going to press Control X to get out of there. So we just looked, but we didn't make a change. All right, clear the screen. Now I'm going to change directory to /etc/snort/rules, and I'll type ls to list rule files. Now, notice that you get a bunch of rule files automatically when you install Snort. So for DNS, looking for DNS abnormalities, or denial of service, or FTP, ICMP, SMTP, SQL injection, the list goes on and on and on. And this is fantastic. However, we can also create a custom Snort rule file. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to run sudo nano. I want to run the Kali Linux built-in nano text editor, /etc/snort/rules. Let's go ahead and create local.rules. Now in here, we can go ahead and type in or copy and paste any rules that we might want to have as customized rules. Now I've already got a rule in here. You can either copy and paste it or type it in. Now if you're pasting it into PuTTY, after you copy it, just right click to paste it. If you're in the Kali Linux GUI, in a terminal window, just go to the edit menu and then paste the clipboard contents. So what do we have here? We have an alert statement looking for ICMP traffic, and it doesn't matter if it's destined to any particular IP or anything like that. But what we're doing is saying from anywhere to our home network, which is actually any network, any port, any host, we want to detect ICMP. The message here is going to say testing ICMP when we detect ICMP traffic from anywhere going to anywhere. We're going to give a unique ID value here, in this case 1,000,001. It's rev1, revision 1. Notice that we have a key and a value here, like rev1 separated by a colon. Just like we have message and then the actual text string separated by a colon. We separate that key value pair from the next key value pair with a semicolon. So syntactically, watch out for that. Here, the class type, I'm just going to specify built-in value called ICMP-event with a finishing semicolon, close the parentheses. All we're doing here is looking for ICMP traffic. Okay, well, having done that, we could also test for telnet traffic as we see an example of in step 8. So that's fine. However, having done that, we're only really going to be testing ICMP, so we don't have to worry about the telnet connection attempt rule. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to get out of here, Control X. I didn't make a change, so I'm not prompted to specify yes and press enter as per step 9. So let's go ahead and test our configuration without actually running Snort yet. So we can do that with sudo snort-T for test. And I want to specify here -I for interface eth0. And I want to specify -C for config file /etc/snort/snort.conf. And it looks like it validated the configuration. Okay, otherwise we'd have some kind of an error, which usually results from syntax when we type in custom rules. All right, perfect. We're ready to start Snort for real. To do that, I'm going to run sudo snort-A. I want the output alerts to be sent to the console on this host. In this case, -I for LO, local loopback. And I want to specify -Q for quiet mode, -C for the config file, which is /etc/snort/snort.conf. So at this point, Snort will be running. Now, bear in mind, the default rule files will also be loaded here, so you might get some extra traffic here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch over to Kali Linux and open another terminal window and ping the local loopback IP address. So I'm actually directly in the Kali Linux GUI. Now, if I want to go full screen, I could also go to my view menu here and choose exclusive mode. Either way, what I want to do is ping 127.0.0.1 and press enter. Now, ping uses ICMP. So what we want to do, I'll just press Control-C to stop that, is go back to our Snort console to see what it has to show us. And back here in our PuTTY session where we had the Snort console running, notice it's picking up ICMP, and of course we have our message, our custom message here, testing ICMP. So all it's doing here is detecting what we asked it to look for in terms of suspicious traffic based on our rule files and reporting it back, the way we've configured it, to the Linux console.